Cherokee Removal Before and After, edited by William L. Anderson. Chapter Rhetoric versus Reality. Furthermore, because of the self-interested orientation of public opinion, few Americans voiced concern about the discrepancies between the benevolent rhetoric and the frequently cruel realities of American Indian policy. Such discrepancies bothered white friends of the Indians and were frequently decried by foreign visitors. In the early 1830s, for example, the English traveler Francis Trollope charged that Jackson's removal policy epitomized everything despicable in American character, especially the contradictions in their principles and practice. Trollope viewed Indian removal as a treacherous policy that demonstrated the true character of the American people. You will see them 1 hour lecturing their mob on the indefeasible rights of man, she wrote, and the next driving from their homes the children of the soil whom they have bound themselves to protect by the most solemn treaties. Several years later, geologist George Featherstonhaugh witnessed firsthand the results of the policy Trollope had condemned. In 1837, this scientist, an Englishman who had lived in the United States for nearly 30 years, traveled through the Cherokee country in the South. Although Jackson was no longer president, his hand-picked successor, Martin Van Buren, had made clear his determination to enforce the controversial Cherokee Removal Treaty of 1835. Featherstonhaugh was impressed by the remarkable advances the Cherokees had made in the great principles of civilization. All about him he saw signs of progress, the presence of Christian missionaries and churches, books printed in the native language, a tribal government based on written laws, and fields under cultivation. He lamented that the Cherokees were being driven from their religious and social state, not because they cannot be civilized, but because a pseudo-set of civilized beings who are too strong for them want their possessions. Featherstonhaugh shared Trollope's contempt for the wrongful manner by which Americans acquired Indian lands. As the observations of Trollope and Featherstonhaugh suggest, the contrast between the rhetoric and the reality of President Jackson's Indian policy serves as a grim reminder of what can happen to a politically powerless minority in a democratic society. Scholars of Indian-white relations would be wise, however, to heed the advice of Edward Hall and Oscar Handlin and avoid thinking about the Jacksonian Indian policy in dualistic terms. An analysis of the reasons for the differences between the rhetoric and the reality of Jacksonian Indian policy also points out the danger of oversimplified, one-dimensional interpretations of history.